Am I right, Nick? Am I right?
Yeah, I do. You are right. I do this every year, Jenna. I think it's one of the most fun things to do. Maybe that's an indictment on me, but I love it. I think the audience enjoys it. So 8 teams left, 8 players with the most to gain from winning the Super Bowl will go 8-1. Coming in at number 8, the GOAT, Tom Brady. Oh, Nick, you're ranking Brady last again. This is a compliment. He's at the top of the mountain. There's no more mountain to climb. So there's this. It's same thing, by the way, for LeBron. Does LeBron have anything to gain by winning a title this year? Not really. Already the greatest ever. Brady, already the greatest ever. It'll be nice, but it doesn't change anything for him. No, okay. And by the way, people are like, oh, Nick, you're just finding a thing. No, look who I've got number 7, Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have that nearly as much to gain as the guys in front of him. You know why? Everyone already understands the best player in the league. Now, if he were to lose to the Browns this coming round, then he has something to lose. But if they beat the Browns, which they will, he's made the AFC Championship game or further every year of his career. He's won an MVP. He's won a Super Bowl MVP. Everyone else on the list has more to gain than him. You might see, wait, there's 2 heads here. What's going on here? The Rams' defensive stars, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Brandon Marshall said yesterday Aaron Donald could go down as not only the greatest defensive lineman ever, but maybe the greatest defensive player ever. In order to steal that title from a guy like Lawrence Taylor, who's got 2 rings, or Deion Sanders, who's got a couple rings, he's going to have to win at least 1 Super Bowl. Could get it done. And Jalen, I think, would cement him as a Hall of Famer. Give me number 5, Drew Brees. Drew Brees, what does he have to gain? Well, locks him in as a top 5 all-time quarterback, 2nd all-time in every major passing category, and it would rejuvenate what I consider a crazy debate, but a debate that will exist if they win the Super Bowl. Who had a better career, Drew Brees or Peyton Manning? We had that debate a year ago. It was crazy then, it'd be crazy now, but it would come back. 4 guys with the most to gain. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, number 4. Listen, if they win this Super Bowl, I think you are going to be able to make the argument. I'm not saying I would make it, but you could make the argument he's the 2nd greatest quarterback of all time. You could make the argument that he has surpassed his childhood idol, Joe Montana. That's what Aaron Rodgers is playing for to get that ring number 2.
That's done already.
You might be like,
that's done already.
He's already the 2nd greatest quarterback of all time. He's already better than Joe Montana.
Yes.
That's a separate show, a separate take.
Yes.
We'll do that on the House of Athlete podcast or something. We got to do that at some point, but I don't know if I agree with you. All right, number 3. Josh Allen. Here's what Josh Allen has to gain. If they win the Super Bowl, can he walk into the Bills front office and say, hey, you know that contract Patrick Mahomes got? I want that. That sounds good. I've done what he's done. Why don't you give me that deal? Also, extra bonus for Josh Allen. Force me into retirement. So Josh Allen, 3rd most to gain. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Here's an honest question. If the Ravens win the Super Bowl and Lamar's fantastic, is he already a Hall of Famer? League MVP, Super Bowl, would be a man with a Heisman Trophy and a Super Bowl, 1st quarterback since Staubach to do it. Lamar Jackson with the 2nd most to gain. And number 1, the most to gain of any player in the league from a Super Bowl, and would force a different member of this show into retirement. Jenna Wolf. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Oh, you think he has a lot of commercials now?
Question mark.
Oh, what if my guy? What if my guy has this career track record? Heisman Trophy, number 1 pick.
No.
Super Bowl champion in year 3. And by the way, winning a Super Bowl is one thing. Winning a Super Bowl with the Browns, where your path will have been, by the way, Big Ben out of here, Mahomes out of here, Lamar or Josh Allen out of here, and then Rodgers, Brady, or Brees in the Super Bowl. Sorry, I'm dismissing the Rams.
That's why it's never going to happen.
It would be an unbelievable gauntlet. It would be, he would forget the contract. Is he going to get a contract? He has more to gain. I'm not saying he's going to win it, obviously. He has more to gain than any other player in the league. So there's the list. And again, these are all compliments. I've got my guy Mahomes, 2nd to last. Brandon Marshall, what say you on the players with the most to gain from winning Super Bowl 55?
This is thought-provoking, Nick. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy this segment, and it's actually intriguing. So I want to start with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, you know, you could potentially say he's number one. And the reason why is because the conversation around Patrick Mahomes is that he can go down as the greatest quarterback ever. So if that is true, then that means you need to do at least half of what Tom Brady has done. So he needs this Super Bowl. Now you look at these guys, defensive guys. I think if they win it, it solidifies their place in the Hall of Fame. That's a big deal for them. And then obviously, you know, it puts them in a position to be, you know, top 5, top 3 at their positions. And like you said, yes, Aaron Donald to me could potentially go down as the greatest defensive player ever because how disruptive he is, but he needs to do that for the next 7-10 years. Drew Brees. Yep. There's guys out there that we want to see go out on their own terms. So for him to win it, he has a lot to gain because it's like, man, this is exactly John Elway, Ray Lewis. There's so many guys that get that opportunity. Yeah. He has that opportunity. He has a really good defense, has a phenomenal coach, and he has the offense to get it done. Aaron Rodgers. I should skip over this one. Man, Aaron Rodgers is probably, you know, Patrick Mahomes is in a position that Aaron Rodgers was years ago. We were talking about Aaron Rodgers going down as the greatest quarterback ever. But what happened? The Green Bay Packers, they freaking, oh my goodness, they wasted his career.
They didn't support him.
They did. How do you get one Super Bowl out of this guy? Josh Allen, I think it's an easy conversation around him, you know, because you haven't won one yet. Lamar Jackson, I truly believe if he wins a Super Bowl this way, because we know the NFL is trendy, the pocket passer is done for at least the next 10 years.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
We know.
Let me respond to that real quick.
Done.
Brandon, let me respond to that real quick, and then you can finish, because that was in my notes and I forgot it. Lamar also has the most to gain for other people. If Lamar wins the Super Bowl, the way quarterbacks are drafted, scouted, considered, changes forever, and he becomes the greatest dual-threat quarterback of all time. So, like, it's a revolutionary change, Brandon, if Lamar wins it. That's a great point by you that I meant to mention. So go ahead. Sorry to interrupt, but that's exactly right.
And I think you're pretty much right there with the 1 and 2 and Baker Mayfield as well. It's the Cleveland Browns. Come on. What Juju said, he wasn't really wrong, but he shouldn't have said it. Right. It's the Cleveland Browns, right? So if he does it, oh my goodness, it's great for sports. It's great for the NFL. But I want to go to Tom Brady. I'm saving the best for last, the GOAT. Tom Brady, he has the most to gain because it's almost like that Kobe and Shaq type of play. Kobe wanted to get away from Shaq to prove to everybody that he was the reason. And what happened when he did it? When he won a NBA title without Shaquille O'Neal, it thrust him in the conversation as not only one of the greatest NBA players, but one of the greatest competitors ever. So Tom Brady, if he goes and wins a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick, now we're not talking about him as the GOAT and the greatest football player of all time. I think that thrusts him in the conversation as the greatest competitor in all of sports, Wilds.
Oh, trying to take LeBron's title. Interesting. That's interesting.
No, LeBron doesn't have that title. Brandon just made that title up. LeBron doesn't have that title.
No, he has that title.
All right, I want to move up. I want to move up my guys. No, it's not. Move up my guys for the following reasons. We are in a historic. My guys, obviously, everybody knows number 99 in Jalen Ramsey. Okay, we are to be the best defense in this era. If they are able to go through this gauntlet, Russ, Rodgers, Brees, and Brady, just to get to the Super Bowl, in a year where this is nuts. Every statistic was a record. Most points, most touchdowns, most touchdown passes, most completion, and highest completion percentage. To be the best defense and as dominant as they can been. And if they carry surgically repaired thumb Goff or the Wolfman Wolfpack, if the defense really carries them all the way, no, enough with that. There's not Jim McMahon and the 85 Bears. It's the Wolfpack in this new squad that probably needs a better nickname if we really want to, do some better marketing. So I think they have the most of it. I think they could be in legendary status, better than 85 Bears, better than Legion Boom, better than the Ravens. I think they have the most to gain.
And I think to kind of supplement that point, the fact that it's 7 quarterbacks on this list. And the one team that doesn't have a quarterback, we don't even know who their quarterback is, speaks to that. It's a quarterback passing league. You've got, 3 of in Rodgers, Brady, and Breeze, 3 of the unanimously considered 7 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Mahomes, who's clearly on his way, and then 3 guys who are the future faces of the league, it looks like, in the 3 guys up top. And then it's the Rams with either Goff or Wolford. It speaks to how high that mountain is they have to climb. Now, I think they slip off it this week, but if they beat Rodgers, you go through Russ and Rodgers in your first 2 rounds, you've already done something, Jenna.
Let's go.
All right, we head back to our top story now. The Brooklyn Nets improving their title odds overnight. Are they now the team to beat after getting James Harden? It's next. First things first.